Okay, good afternoon once again. This is DCE110 Introduction to Computer Design and Drafting. We have started our Matlab lecture and labs, and this is a continuation of where we stopped. If you have seen my screen, we have talked about in the last video, we have talked about functions, creating functions and all that, and basic operators and functions. We're going to do that later. I'll see you do more on the operators in Matlab, detail one. Now, let me quickly finish this one so that I can go into detail. Now, programming with Matlab 2. Now, this is just to extend what we have done so far. You will see that yes. So now programming to, we have programming to number one, we have loops that allow us to do things over and over. You can loop, want to repeat certain action, certain step all over again. So programming, different programming languages have such provision, and Matlab is not an exception. So Matlab also has that. We can loop things to do things over and over. Then we have strings, another kind of variable. You can also work with strings. Strings are normally referring to alphabets, names, and words that can be treated exactly as they are. Names, anything that you put as strings will be treated like the name of a dog, as just letters that you cannot, so to say, perform additions or certain mathematical operations on. So strings are a special kind of variable. So we'll look at that. Then another programming tool, number two, is decision making. Doing things only if certain things are true. So you have to find a situation where before certain things are done, certain things must be tested. You take you do testing of the situation before you take decision. That if this is greater than this, then do this. We're going to see some of them, and then the last one is not so important. It's just like an additional stuff, which is just to illustrate some things. So let's quickly move on to harnessing the power of computer. So the reason why we use computer is to manipulate data that can be stored in a numeric format. When you need to do a lot of manipulating, so the computer is fast. So because human beings, we have our limitation in the speed of processing, and computers are good in doing repetition. Repeated works or repeated actions. So human being can be bored when you have to repeat something over and over again. So that's why computers are very useful to us. Function you wrote last time for computing properties of a rectangular solid can also be used again. So where we were taxing the results of the computer, yes. So the power of computer is its speed. It can do a lot of simple things very quickly. So we can harness that. And loops are one of the areas we can tap into that. So let's say I want a function that creates an array. I have to limit this so that I have to move so that it doesn't cover the readable part of the screen. Now, let's say I want a function that creates an array that holds the square of the first 10 positive integers in order. Now, lots of different ways to do this. One simple way is just to put them in array by just saying squares is equal to square bracket, open, and then 1, 4, 9. Now, these are positive integers. There's no negative one. And integer can be any number. So 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 91, 100. So that means you say, okay, 1, the square of the first positive integer, the square of 1 is 1, the square of 2 is 2, the square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, the square of 5 is 25, the square of 6 is 36, the square of 7 is 49, the square of 8 is 864, the square of 9 is 91, and the square of 10 is 100. Okay. Sorry, I don't seem to agree with that last one. The square of 9 should be another thing.
Square of 9 is 81.
Should be 81, yes, thank you. That's a mistake there. It's a mistake. Okay. Yes, I'm going to correct it now. It's square of 9 is 81. So let me quickly correct it because this is going. Yes, this is going everywhere. So this is the correct one. So the square of 9 is 81. Then the square of 10 is 100. So now that is what we have done here. Now it seems very simple, but if I want the function to create an array that holds the square of the first n positive integer in order, then n will become a variable, okay? And then this will happen. Function is result. This is a function name. Then this will be what will happen. Square n. Then result is equal to 0, 1, comma n. So let it create 0. 0 is a function that will create 0 number of zeros starting from 1 to the last one. So if the first 10 numbers, so that means n will be equal to 10. When you say n is equal to 10, then result 1 will be 1. So this is going to be the array that I'll put. So now this will continue like that. Now, when you now do this, loops are for repetition. So a loop is a way to repeat a command a variable number of times. Okay. Now, so when we say function result is equal to square n, that is the function header. Now the result is going to be this is a function called 0 that is inbuilt in mathematics. Zeros. It's going to put this as a kind of populating the array. Populating the array in Matlab, okay? So you now say for num is equal to 1 to n, result num is equal to num times num. So times num, that is what is squaring the number, because square is just to multiply the number by itself. So, but this result is to create an array of correct size. And this result is equal to zeros, open bracket, 1, comma, n, close bracket, is to create an array of correct size. Okay? 1 to n. That's 1 to 10, if n is equal to 10. But if n changes, it will also change accordingly. So for num is equal to 1 to n. This is the loop now. So for n is equal to 1 to n. It will now say result is num is equal to num times num. This asterisk is times. So that's for the loop. And this is a for loop, okay? This is a for loop starting, this is the end. So by the time it takes the first number, 1, and then it comes there, say 1 times 1, then it will store it here. It will be null, okay? It will take the next number 2. You say 2 times 2, it will give you 4. It will store it here. Take the next number 3. 3 times 3, 9. And that it will continue until the end is here. So let's see. Let's quickly see if we can write this program. Let's see if we can write this program. Let me launch Matlab. Let me launch Matlab here. I want to launch the Matlab so that we can use it. Okay, so it's starting now. Why I try to let me copy this. I want to see if I can demonstrate this for you later. Okay, but let's continue. I'll come back here because of my time. I'll come back here to demonstrate this. I'll come back here to demonstrate this, and then I'm going to also modify the program so that the function becomes more responsive, more adaptive. You can use it for various, instead of only specifying the number, you can specify n at the beginning, and it can be changing as you want. And so it's quite interesting. Functions in Matlab can be very, very interesting. Okay, so let's quickly look at the anatomy of a for loop. Anatomy of a for loop. Okay, a for loop starts out with the word for, okay, and then it will now set up the loop control. So what we have just done is, when you start with a particular number and you put colon and then the other number, it will indicate that the value of the loop control variable is starting from 1 and finishing with at the end. And so you may need to supply the value of n when the program is running, or you can do that in the program itself. So, but it's advisable, if you want to make it to be flexible, you can just create a kind of code that will tell you to input the number, what n will be equals to, and then from there you'll be able to use this program for different values of n. Okay, any question? Any question? You have any question? Okay. No question. Thank you. So I want to finish this recording and be a lecture on time. So you will see what I've just explained. It's all about that. But I just want to demonstrate that. Let me see whether the Matlab has loaded. I'm trying to load the Matlab. Okay, it has loaded. Good. Okay. So what I will just do now is to test this for you. Is to test this for loop, and let's see the anatomy. Let's see how it runs. And then, so I'm going to I'm going to share my screen now. The Matlab screen. Can you see my Matlab screen now?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So I'm going to click on the new script. You can see we have done this function yesterday of converting Kelvin to Celsius and Celsius to Kelvin. So using a function, which is very, very handy. Now, this is the code I am putting here. Okay. Now, this is function result square n. but it's good if I can say if I can put if I can say n input, the value of n, but I will not do that now because you can do that on your own. I don't have enough time. Now you can see this code now. Now this is what we are trying to use to find the squares of the first 10 integer. Now n will now be 10. So if I want to run this, I need to save it before you run the function. You need to save it. If I save it, okay, it will give the name squares because the function name is the first name after the equals to. Okay, so this function is squared. Now, if I want to run it, all I just need to do is to click on. I just type squares. Sorry, let me. Yes. Okay, yes. I know your network can be very unstable. That's why I'm recording it. So I'm recording it because I know you people will be having network issues. So I will upload the video after the lecture is over. So don't worry. Don't worry. So you have the time to go through. So that's why we have taken care of that, because we know that networks can be very erratic, especially at this time. So don't worry. As I can see you are on and off, you are connecting and disconnecting, no problem. I will try to make sure that I explain all the things, and then they are recorded and then it will be uploaded. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So don't worry about that. Now I'm going to run this thing now. So I'm going to run. Okay. Now you can see it's saying squares. I'm supposed to type squares. I'm going to bring the square. I'm going to supply the number n, if it is 10. Okay, can you see now? Now, if I've already used there is a particular program that I did yesterday. Let me see if I can do that here, just to help us. Okay, like this now. Okay. Okay, like this now. Okay. Let's say let me use this to open. Let me open the square. So let's say okay, let me do it must start. That's it. Function must start with any function must start with function. So let me see if I can put this. Let me put this inside here before the loop. Okay. Okay. I'll say n is equal to input coach is what you display. What is the value of n will be. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me just quickly do this. Input Yes. I need to terminate it with semicolon so that, okay, it will not return it back on the screen. Okay, if we don't terminate that line, okay, the result, okay, so you can see this is what is happening here. So I have to remove this so that, so when you are writing any function must, any function you are writing must start with the keyword function. You must not put another thing there. Okay, so take note of that. Okay, I have 10 minutes to go, so let me quickly see if I can finish up with this before I do another one. So let me run this now and see. Can you see now? Now I'm supposed to have also put something. Let me modify the code. I can also put a clear screen, and before that I can say clear. Probably clear all. Excuse me. Okay, so clear all, to clear all the thing, because let me see whether it will not interfere. Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay. You can see now it has started running now because it has cleared all the initial ones. Now clear the. So what is the initial value of n? If I put 10, yes. So I cannot use this. This is not going to work because the function is going to be repeating itself. Okay. For it to stay. Okay. So this is okay. This is a bit okay. So do you understand this function now?
Not really.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay. Let me. Let me make it more interactive. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is all right now. This is all right. So you just Control C. Yeah, that's another problem I have. That's what we're going to have this problem with running this square. If I say 0, then it will come out. So that's another thing. So that's why this line will not be useful, because it will keep the function asking for number of n. So I'll delete it. So you supply the n when you are running the function. You just, okay, good. When you puts function, just type the number of n. If it is 20, you put in the bracket, it will do the same. Can you see that? So you can be supplying the number in the bracket. So thank you for coming. I will be rounding up now. Thank you. Network is even gone. So let me quickly end.